I couldn't believe my ears. Standing on a busy street in Lagos, surrounded by the vibrant energy of the city, I heard something completely unexpected. In the middle of Africa, someone was speaking English, but it sounded Filipino, perfectly Filipino. Every word had this incredible rhythm, this melody and warmth that I recognized instantly. He gestured expressively, a huge smile on his face, and then he said it, that playful, respectful puh and opio. At first, I thought, okay, that's a one-off. Maybe he lived there. But then, I started hearing it everywhere. In classrooms, in cafes, on the street. Young people, old people, all adopting this unique Filipino cadence. How did this happen? Why are millions of people across an entire continent copying the Filipino style of speaking? The answer is more beautiful than I ever imagined. It all started quietly, almost like a whisper, carried across oceans through songs, vlogs, and heartfelt Filipino movies. Teenagers would huddle around their phones, captivated by dramas where the emotion wasn't just in the story, but lived inside the words themselves. Filipino content creators, with their mix of English and Tagalog, known as Taglish, brought something incredibly unique to the global internet: raw, unfiltered feeling. When African listeners heard this, something just clicked. It wasn't just English anymore. It was English filled with emotion. They weren't just hearing words, they were hearing a heart. You see, the Filipino accent has a rhythm that's almost like a song. The intonation rises and falls, turning a simple greeting like "Kamusta ka" into a little melody. And in Africa, a continent where music is woven into the very fabric of everyday life, that rhythm found a second home. It felt familiar, it felt right. Students started practicing it for fun, trying to imitate their favorite vloggers. But they quickly realized something powerful. Speaking this way made people happy. And that happiness, that pure, infectious joy, spread faster than any lesson plan ever could. Soon, the fun exploded online. The hashtag #SpeakLikeFilipino challenge trended for weeks. TikTok and Instagram were flooded with videos of people from all over Africa trying their hand at Tagalog phrases. The clips that went viral weren't the ones that were perfect. They were the ones filled with genuine laughter, the bloopers, the moments of pure, unscripted joy. But it didn't stay online. The fun bled into real life and began changing conversations. I saw market vendors greeting each other with that cheerful, lilting tone. Teachers started using it to make their students smile and feel more comfortable. Coworkers would playfully use opio and a little bow to ease the stress of a long day. This wasn't mockery. It was the highest form of admiration, a creative blend of respect and fun. People weren't just copying an accent, they were adopting a feeling. At the core of this phenomenon is a shared value: respect. The Filipino way of speaking is built on it. Every p and opio is a small gesture of kindness, a way of softening speech and showing deference. It's a sign of a good heart. Africans, whose cultures also place immense value on honoring elders, family, and community, recognized that spirit instantly. It resonated deeply. That shared foundation of respect made the accent feel less foreign and more like an extension of their own values. It felt natural. And so, the sound spread. From Lagos in Nigeria to Nairobi in Kenya, from Accra in Ghana to Kigali in Rwanda, the accent became a familiar, welcome sound. You'd hear radio hosts slipping Tagalog phrases into their broadcasts. Comedians would adopt the Filipino tone to deliver a punchline, and the crowd would erupt. I even heard it in churches, where pastors would greet their congregations with a cheerful "Magandang Umaga." The accent became a bridge, uniting two distant worlds through the universal language of laughter and warmth. The stories are incredible. I met Grace, a student in Kenya who was learning Filipino phrases from online videos. Every single story, from every corner of the continent, had one thing in common: happiness. The internet may have started it, but it was real-life connection that kept it alive. People chatting in parks, sharing jokes in malls, ordering food in restaurants, all with this new, joyful rhythm in their speech. Because here's the secret. The Filipino accent isn't about sounding perfect. It's about sounding warm. They're discovering what Africa already knew. This way of speaking makes you feel alive. What began as simple mimicry has transformed into a global movement of connection. It's a beautiful example of how culture doesn't stay in one place. It travels, it evolves, and in the process, it unites us. So, why are millions of Africans copying the Filipino style of speaking? The answer is simple. Because it's joyful. Because it's human. Because when you speak with warmth, people don't just listen with their ears, they listen with their hearts. The Filipino accent carries laughter, and Africa carries rhythm. When you put them together, you don't just get an accent, you get music. And that sound, the sound of connection, joy, and shared humanity, is something the world needs a lot more of right now. Millions are speaking it. Millions are smiling with it. This is the story of how one accent crossed oceans, inspired a continent, and reminded us all that joy has no borders. And maybe, if we all tried, we could learn to speak with that same kindness in our voice. Thank you so much for watching. If this story brightened your day, please give this video a like. And don't forget to subscribe for more stories that connect our world. See you next time.